Yo, 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 we are back. It is Friday night. We are back live again. Live! We are live! I'm currently sat on the edge of my super expensive couch there. Uh, Not really. I mean, it feels like I'm sat on the side of a couch with how uncomfortable this chair is. It's just solid, rock solid hardwood, and it gets quite uncomfortable when you're sat on it for a little while. So maybe this is the next stage of investments in upgrading the setup. Just get something that's comfortable and nice. But wow, what a day! What a day! What a past 24 hours it's been for Manchester United, but just in the world of football as well. I mean, there's all sorts happening. Crazy, crazy stuff going on. I mean, outside of football as well. I mean, you've got Six Nations rugby kicking off tonight. You've got other football matches being played tonight. You've got Lewis Hamilton choosing to move to Ferrari, which is just completely wax lyrical out of the blue. Um, of course, Manchester United. You know, the impending takeover, ratification, sealing the deal, but then also outside of Manchester United, I mean, what can be said about some stories in football, right? Apparently, this club in North London is what I renowned. They're renowned as apparently they were called Arsenal Football Club, right? And their nickname's the Gunners, right? Turns out, turns out that it's more of a swingers club. It's more of a swingers club over there. So you know, I don't. I mean, you can never trust Manchester United because I mean, there's always something going on off the pitch. There's always something going on. So hey, the likelihood is that there's probably some more manners of fuckery going on in our dressing room. I don't even know. But God only knows what goes on in that Arsenal dressing room. I do not want to know what the team talks are like, right? I do not want to know what the post match celebrations are like. If you've got players in there living together and sharing their wives with each other, I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. So you've got a director who sucks toes. You've got a manager who talks about conquering his wife. You've got a club that hires a dog and calls it win, which is one of the things that they don't really do that as often as they should. And I mean, got got a player on loan that likes doing lips with a dog. got the players who start sharing their wives with each other. I mean, Christ Almighty, Manchester United have got all sorts of problems, but that that club in North London, that club's built different. But anyways, we're not talking about that collapsed North London club. We're talking about another North London club that's actually won a European trophy in their history, and that's West Ham. We play them at Old Trafford on Sunday. And I'll tell you what, there's a little bit of optimism here, a little bit of optimism, but a little bit of hope as well. Eric Ten Hag, he's seen what's worked well for 45 minutes against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and there's the makings for something good, right? Now, we all know the story of Manchester United season. We all know it's just inconsistency central. You win a game, you lose a game, you win a game, you lose a game, you win a game again, you lose a game again. It never stays still. It always lops left and right. It's like standing on a ship in the middle of a hurricane. Waves are absolutely going ballistic, and you are covering widths of the ship pretty much every other couple of seconds. It never stays still. There's never any consistency. But I'll tell you one thing: there is a potential opportunity here. There is a chance that Eric Ten Hag can start putting teams together and playing them week by week, not chopping and changing, not switching things up or choosing different combinations. Just stick with a team, start them week in, week out from now, as many times as you can between now and the end of the season. Get a bit of consistency in the team sheets, because it may be there is a semblance of team sheet consistency. Maybe you actually get some consistencies on the pitch as well. Just a thought process, right? Just a bit of the thought process ticking in there. That should technically be, common logic. It sounds logical, so shouldn't that be the case? I don't know. But evenings to Carl Rossi. Good to see you, man. Mate, I think you tuned in just a little bit late at the start of the show. I was just waxing lyrical about Arsenal and what's going on with that club. I was watching the Gunner stream earlier as well today about the wife sharing going on. I don't think there's another club in the world quite like this. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, Carl? It's amazing. Literally. Arsenal and Manchester United, two of the most clapped clubs in the country and in the world. I don't even know, but do you know what? Maybe we can we can delve into a bit more of a conversation about that towards the end of the stream. Congrats on your last video, matey. Well, thank you very much, Carl. And for anybody else that doesn't know, last stream, last night, the match reaction was by far the best performing video on the channel, hitting 1.2 thousand views. That is mental. That is absolutely mental. I think the last or the nearest video I got to high view count was around about 500. So I've smashed it. I've absolutely smashed it. Out of absolutely nowhere. So massive thank yous to everybody that has watched that stream, by the way. Big shout outs to the guys that support the channel, the guys in the chat right now. Carl Rossi, of course, a legend as always. Tayyib Hussein, another fantastic individual in the chat. I'll come back to that comment in a second. But Arsenal Manic. I keep on thinking your name's Arsenal Maniac. It's Arsenal Manic, but I can. You know what? With the way at Arsenal nowadays, I wouldn't be surprised if they do turn you into a maniac. So if it ever does happen, if the change ever does happen, I'll completely understand it. But thank you as well to Arsenal Manic, and good to see you again in the channel, mate. But yeah, not just the people who comment in the chats as well, people subscribing, liking, but just tuning in as well, because all manners of support is massively appreciated. So big thank yous, and that it's a huge achievement for me. Massive achievement for me in my eyes. Some people might think, yeah, that's an alright achievement, but for me it's massive. For me it's massive, and I honestly, sincerely thank each and every one of you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Weird tap fuzzy, honestly. I can't even laugh at how zesty this club is. Yeah, well, I mean, we're in a group of zesty wrongers, and do you know what? After reading what's going on with Arsenal today, I'm feeling extra wrong. I'm feeling super wrong today. So, mate, you're a gent and super respectful, nice guy. Wish you all the success. And thank you very much, Carl Rossi. Really appreciate it. And I hope to see you sticking around and putting up with me for many more years, or for as long as this channel keeps on going, or for as long as my channel stays up. Maybe someone will come along and cancel me at some point. We'll have to see. Just is what it is. It's the internet in 2024. So we'll have to see what happens, but we'll keep going. We'll keep doing our thing. And we've got the magic love juice here, the real love juice, not the kind that makes you want to swap your wife with your teammates, but the kind that gets you feeling good. So I'll be drinking that as we go over the our fixture on Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock kickoff at Old Trafford. Manchester United versus West Ham. And Carl Rossi says he will be around here for many, many years to come. So always a pleasure to see him in the chat, and very, very pleasure to know that he shall be around. So look forward to the many, many great times that I'm sure we'll have ahead as well. So West Ham, of course, as the title of the stream goes, keep the starting 11 the same. Don't change it. Now is the golden opportunity, the meal ticket. Keep things the same. Don't change it. Don't, be the tinker man here. Be sticking to something that's consistent. And that's one thing that Manchester United haven't had. And it's quite easy to see. Team selections consistently chopping and changing from week to week. So for me, if we can actually keep the team the same without needing to chop and change, it's a good team. It's a strong team, and it's got a lot of it's got a lot of quality and a lot of players that can hurt you. Well, not just hurt you, but the opposition teams, of course. And to me, it's like you look at those opening 45 minutes and you think that's good. The second half we've got to work on, because it's a 90-minute game and you can't play for 45 minutes and just just pack it in for the other 45. So giving this team consistent time and playing together, and not, to be honest, it's very, very similar to the team that we were playing consistently last season. Of course, I would like Bayindir to be in the starting 11, because Onana is literally a walking disaster. But aside from that, everybody else is more or less the same. More or less the same as the team that played most commonly last season. So that should be... we've seen what works well with this team, but of course, with consistencies, we drop off throughout different points at different moments in the game. But if you play the same team over and over again, they sort of build into it. You play into it. You play into a bit of consistency, and that might be what we need to look to do. We're not in Carabao Cup competitions. We're not in Europe. And the FA Cup is the only real side competition that we've got left. So our schedule's not looking really hectic between now and the end of the season. So why not? Why not keep this team the same? Why not keep rolling with the punches? Why not keep playing the same starting 11, right, and have these other impact players come off the bench and, commit, contribute to the games in the latter stages? Because, let's not beat around the bush, of course, quality-wise, in terms of strength and depth, Manchester United are quite lackluster. That's kind of a similar theme for a lot of teams nowadays. Very, very thin squads, and thin squads by design. But the quality of Manchester United's depth is not that great. But with players that you can bring off the bench that are significant with impact, I think is always something that you should look at. And I think it should stay to it being that they are just impact players. I think with like Scott McTominay, for example, the guy's only impact when he comes off the bench and picks up, blind spots in in defense's peripheral vision, and becomes the extra man that is not marked in the box. And if you're starting with that, that's kind of what a team's going to try and set up to do against you. Whereas Scott McTominay, he comes off the bench. That's an extra man or a goal threat that you have to be wary about from deep. And I'm not talking about subbing Scott McTominay on to be a number 10 or a number 9. I'm talking about him being subbed on in the midfield. So it would most likely be someone like a Casemiro that would be subbed off. Or Kobbie Mainoo. And Kobbie Mainoo, Casemiro, for me, that partnership, keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. I want to see just where this goes. I want to see where this goes, because I think that's, it's got some seriously good ability there, and it's got some good balance. We know Casemiro's got a bit of a goal threat. We know that. Kobe Mainu showed quite a very quite a hefty load of a hefty amount of composure. Um, to be fair, for somebody that's so young and inexperienced, it's not it's not frequent that you see as much composure in a play in such clutch moments like a Kobe Mainu, and it seems so effortless with Kobe Mainu. So for me, partnering him with Casemiro brings a very unique type of balance to that midfield, and it's going to cause a lot of problems. It was causing problems for Wolves in the first 45, um, and I want to see us do the same thing for West Ham. You utilize the same team, same link ups, and start to get these players in that team gelling together, because it's something that they know isn't going to change either. So if you're keeping the team consistent, these players in training, they're going to bond together. They're going to, they're going to work an understanding with each other. And one thing that is very frequently being, described about Manchester United teams is how stranger like we are on the pitch with each other. It's like you spend like weeks upon weeks in training, working with each other to bring up good levels of performances, and then you see them on the pitch where it matters most, and these guys just don't even know each other. They're just strangers. Well, keep the team the same on the pitch, so these people know what players they're playing around, so that they know what they're about to walk into on your Saturdays, your Sundays, and your midweeks. Keep the team the same. It builds up consistency, and with consistency, builds the team's confidence. And with the team's confidence, you get better performances. Of course, I think with as far as say energy goes, of course there should be a fairly higher amount of energy, as we've played significantly less amount of games this season as we have compared to last season, and are set to play much less games between now and the end of the season, as we were at this point last season as well. So why not? Why not stick with the starting 11 and just full throttle it, right the way to the end of the season, and try and build up a winning run, because that's one thing we haven't done. And I'll tell you what, I will be hats off. I'll be hats off, and I'll say, well done in doing this. If Ten Hag can end up getting this team to play consistently together, this team starts to pick up runs of results, right? They start winning 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games on the bounce, right? That's from where we were this season, right? We're somewhat under the assumption this isn't going to change. This isn't going to improve between now and the end of the season. Most of us think this manager Dunzos. If he improves between now and the end of the season by introducing that sort of consistency, you know what? I'm going to say, well, you know what? Well done. Well done to the manager in actually getting that situation sorted out and improving what this team is doing, right? Because Ineos, straight away, Ineos are already, they're on the eve of ratification. They are this close to getting all the power they need to incite change. And the one thing Ten Hag cannot afford to be doing when they get that power is losing games consistently. Week in, week out, lose game here, lose game there, and be falling away from Champions League positions in as though it's like a free fall. Now, it's probably going to be unlikely that we'll get to Champions League, but getting close and seeing that you do get a points haul between now and the end of the season, you're picking up wins left, right, and centre. It builds your momentum. It gets a feel-good factor in the club. And so I suppose it's a bit easier if you see consistency as well, if you are Ineos, because you look at the players who are playing well, you look at the players who aren't playing well. You pick and choose, you sort them, the good from the bad, and you say, he's been trying, but his level is not good enough. At least it's not the case where you watch these players, both good and bad, perform one week and shit the bed the next. As long as you're not sitting there and thinking, well, who do I get rid of if everybody is great one week and absolutely atrocious the next? Build the consistency so that you play the inconsistency of performances out, and it makes the decisions for the guys that are coming in to function the summer transfer window a lot easier. And I think that's what's got to be the intention, the message from higher up to the manager, to the players. You're out of pretty much every competition barring the FA Cup. Work hard to actually go deep in this FA Cup. I mean, I think it's Nottingham Forest or Bristol City away from home in the next round of the FA Cup, just dependent on who wins that game. And you're out of Champions League positions at the moment. Get yourself into a European competition and we'll talk, and get away from, mid-table mediocrity and, put a little bit of self-respect on your name. Start stringing some results together. That's what I want us to do, at least. Manager is being fed meat. How lonely's having threesome with dogs. Our players sharing wives. Jesus Christ. Your director sucking his own daughter's toes as well, getting the toe jam out, and do hit the likes. Yes, Carl Rossi doing the Lord's work as per usual. And big ups to him and big ups to everybody else that does smash the like. So please do smash the like on the stream. Massively appreciated. So, of course, as far as the teams are concerned, the starting 11, as I've said, is, as the title suggests, keep it the same. So that, I say keep it the same. For me, I'll just want to change the goalkeeper just for the sake of it. Just for the sake of it. My team would be a Bayendier in goal. You've got Luke Shaw at left back. You've got Varane Martinez partnership at centre back. You've got Dela at right back. The Casemiro Manu partnership, quintessential. Keep them playing together. Do not introduce Scott McTominay into that starting lineups. God damn, do not do it. Bruno Fernandes ahead of them in the number 10 position. Rashford on the left or Garnacho on the left with Rashford on the other, Rashford on the right or Garnacho on the right, dependent on whichever way round it is. Probably Rashford on the left with Garnacho on the right, and Rasmus Højlund up top. Keep it the same. We're at home. Use the advantage, the home advantage, if you will, of the home crowd. So what? Let's ride the wave. Let's ride the wave and carry some momentum into this game. Win 2 on the bounce. That makes it that we travel to Villa Park away with the opportunity to make it 3 on the bounce. It's going to be a really tough game against Villa, but don't shy away from it. We've beaten them at home. Let's go do the league double over them. Go do the league double. Let's not sink to new lows, and let's go do it. Let's go do it. Let's go smash some people up. Let's just go shit on. Let's go shit on the Brummies. Let's go shit. Just go shit all over Birmingham. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But anyways, yeah, that's just what I want us to do. West Ham, they've got a good team. they've got a good team. They've got lots of quality, a lot of key technical players that can do a lot of damage. I think Areola is probably going to be starting goal for them. As far as their left back is concerned, I have no idea who the hell plays for at left back for them. But I can imagine Mavropanos, one of their centre backs, quite good in the box in the set piece situations from corners. And this is the thing: watch out, set piece, corners, crosses. Man United, we hate them. We absolutely hate them. James Ward-Prowse is going to be like, I'm going to spam crosses and corners. Mavropanos, Thomas Soucek, Edson Alvarez, Kudus are going to be sat there in the box, outside the box, and they're going to be salivating at the mouth to getting all of these opportunities. And I think there will be plenty of opportunities for them, which is why we need to have a strong team, a team that carries a bit of momentum and consistency into this game. But that's the next test for United. Is the consistency, get step one, be consistent. Step two, part two of the plan, nobody knows because we never thought we'd get this far. It kind of feels like that for United at the moment. But yeah, their midfield, very, very, very strong. They're physical. It's a very physical team, and with a bit of technical qualities in there. Your Jared Bowen, I think Calvin Phillips as well. He's there on loan, so that's another defensive midfielder that can shore things up at the back for West Ham. So again, it's going to make for a tougher midfield battle. Absolutely going to make for a very, very tough midfield battle. But Kobbie Mainoo, great composure and seamless ability with supposedly world-class Casemiro next to him. You know what? Why not take them on? Take them on. Absolutely take them on. Edson Alvarez, Calvin Phillips, meet Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro. That's set up for a good midfield battle for me. So I think we should. I think that's what we should do. I think that's the way we should go. DJ Crane, big up the chocolate Fuzzmeister. The chocolate's out tonight, baby, and we are soaking it in. We're drinking it in. The absolute madness that is football in 2024, and just anticipating with a bit of positivity for this West Ham fixture on Sunday. So I'm sure it's going to be an interesting weekend, just in general, an interesting weekend. I mean, it's Arsenal-Liverpool, literally straight after the Man United-West Ham game. Chelsea versus Wolves. I mean, Christ almighty. Chelsea, I mean, what can be said about Chelsea? I mean, Jesus Christ. I thought it was just the result itself was bad against Liverpool for Chelsea, but the fact is that they literally abandoned their match mascot. Literally, I was seeing the video where this Chelsea mascot's just sat in the middle, right, of Anfield, on his own, raucous atmosphere. You'll Never Walk Alone's blaring out everywhere, and he's sat there in the middle of the pitch, just like, what am I doing here? What do I do? Like, mate, where's the Chelsea captain? What's the Chelsea captain doing? Because he's meant to be looking after the mascot. What's Ben Chilwell doing, man? It's just like, yeah, nah, you're all right, kid. Stay over there, right? And just sort of act like you're just another Chelsea player. Just be the full kit wanker, right? Be the full kit wanker, and maybe the referee will just assume you're another player, and then we can play with 12 men on the pitch. Let's go. 12 men on the pitch. Chelsea might actually have a chance against Liverpool. In my kid, they won't. They'd still lost. Well, they still would have lost 4-1 if they had 12 men on the pitch. But Jesus Christ, I'll tell you what, it's not going to be no 4-1s in the West Ham game. It ain't going to be no 4-1s. As far as the score line is concerned, do you know? I want to say that let's fingers crossed. Let's touch wood. Let's pray to football gods that this is 2 on the bounce for Manchester United. It's going to be a very tough game, but we're at home. We had against Wolves one of the best 45-minute performances this season, hands down. We need to do the same or have the same impact, but even more clinicality than the last game. Because if we are more clinical, we don't have them offside goals. If we're more clinical, we bury even more chances. If we're more clinical, our halftime score might be 3-0, or maybe even crazy enough, 4-0 at halftime. At halftime. That's the sort of game that Wolves was. We need to improve on the last game, and that means including the first half. Let's be more clinical. Let's bury more chances. You know, we've got the players to hurt West Ham. We do. I know that they're shitters half the time. They'd like to throw in the towel and disappear half the time, but it's the opportunity is there. Let's go and do it. Let's take it. Don't know what everybody else thinks. Maybe everyone's just like, oh my God, we're going to lose to West Ham. Maybe that's what people are thinking. Maybe that's what people are feeling. But do you know what? I actually pick up a bit of optimism from United fans. There's a lot of people, a lot of United fans saying, could this be the tides changing? Could this be our fortunes turning around? Could it be? Could it be the start on the eve of something special? That Man United go on a winning run of form between now and the end of the season? Is it now? Is it happening? Are we witnessing a miracle? I mean, it would probably be a miracle, but miracles do happen in football. I know our standards are on the floor, and me wishing for a miracle that we actually win several games on the bounce. I know that's standards in the gutter, but that's kind of the way that the the world is at the moment. If you're a Man United fan, we want to win everything. We want to be the best club on the planet. I mean, fuck it. We want to surpass Real Madrid. We want to be bigger than them. We want to be a more elite than Real Madrid. That's where my aim is. That's where my target is. My crosshairs are solely locked onto Real Madrid. Go overtake them. I don't see why not. I mean, we'll tell you what, you'll have the financial backing, sort out this wage bill, get success on the pitch. You'll be the richest club on the planet. Fifth, not won a significant trophy, barring Europa League, by the end of this season would be 11 years. No Premier League title in 11 years, and no Champions League since 2008. So no real significant trophies. Well, I mean, the FA Cup as well we did have in, I think, 2015. But you get the gist of it, right? You get the gist of it. Even with being trash for about 10 years now, we still have the 5th highest revenue income. The 5th biggest income in world football. And we've been shit for 10 years. Ineos sorts out the FFP cap, or the FFP issues. Sell deadwood, overpaid, overhyped contracts. Get players who are grafters and who are good quality on honest wages. Bring around success, commercial impetus backs you up. Hey, happy days. We've become super rich, no oil money required, and most successful club. We could dominate ourselves. We could dominate the league ourselves. The master plan, the grand master plan is there. You know, but you got to make it happen. You got to make it happen. You know, it's easier said than done. Oh, stop you crying. It's been 20 years for Arsenal. Mate, I'll tell you what, the game for the, the game for West Ham is former Europe, European champions versus also reigning European champions. Arsenal is just Liverpool, the 6-time Champions League winning club, and 19-time Premier League title winning club versus an Arsenal. We wish we had won something in Europe, and 20 years without a league title. I mean, there are levels. There are levels to trophy halls in this game. And hopefully, for Arsenal's case, that by the time we get to Sunday, that Ben White and Zinchenko have figured out who their wives are again after the amount of madness that will be going on at the White Co, the Zin White household, it would seem. Hopefully, they can keep they can keep themselves out of each other for long enough to be prepared for the say. Listen, don't use up all your fuckery in the bedroom, right? You're gonna get all the fuckery you need on Sunday from Liverpool. Oh, they're revving it up. They're revving it up already, mate. So, so watch out. They're coming for you. Uh, but yeah, I'll tell you what. The only fuckery I hope is going on in Manchester tomorrow on Sunday. The only fuckery I'm hoping goes on in Manchester on Sunday is Man United bowling over West Ham United. So we'll have to see what happens when it comes to it. But what else? What else? What else shall we speak about? What else shall we speak about? Because the preview element of this game, I'm pretty sure, is done and dusted from my end. Let's talk about a couple of other games going on this weekend. A couple of other games. Chelsea Wolves. Let's talk about Chelsea for a little bit here. Let's talk about Chelsea. Maybe we're overdue a show with Wolfgang Division. A catch-up might be on the cards. Maybe, what was it? They play Sunday. How about a catch-up session tomorrow? Catch-up session tomorrow or something. Let's see if we can get Wolfgang Division onto the show and get a bit of a catch-up with what's going on with Chelsea, because, man, that club, they've had the story come out as well about their their financial troubles, and it's not good reading. It isn't good reading, and Todd Bowley, I think he might have screwed the pooch a bit too much here, and by screwing the pooch, unfortunately, Nuno Tavares is not on loan at Chelsea. That's its own problem up in Nottingham. But terminology-wise, it's correct. It screwed the pooch, most likely, and not just with Todd Bowley. With the first summer, we can say, yeah, Todd Bowley, that's all your fault. The people he's employed, the middlemen, Clearlake, Ekbali, guys like that, those that run the operations of the club day to day, that club looks like it is falling asleep up here. And I think there's a lot of relevance for for a Manchester United fan to talk about Chelsea Football Club like this, because look at where we've been for the past 10 years. Look at where we've been, where we've gone, what we've done. We have watched clueless owners employ wasters. They've employed wasters in positions that they're not qualified for. We've watched them try and fail to operate the club optimally. And it looks like that they're paying the price for it. It looks like they're paying the price for it. So you've got lots and lots of players. To me, quite a bloated squad, right? Their medical department seems to be in an absolute nightmare state at the moment. Their contract situations looks like it's starting to come back to haunt them. These big contracts, great. They're fantastic for getting through the loopholes of FFP to stop you putting stuff in place. But FFP don't stop moving for you. It's still going to be watching your every single move. And your contracts for players, a load of players that are still going to be around here till like the year 2028/2029/2030, you're in trouble. Because these are some, if I bring up, let's have a look at the wages here. Because you spread them across long contracts, right? That's sporttrack.com. So my God. So total salaries, right? £149 million, right? £149 million is the collective budget for Chelsea right now. The shortest contract I've seen thus far is Ben Chilwell, who from at this point, his deal expires in 2027. Jesus Christ. Never mind. Thiago Silva, Barbara Rahman, and Thiago Silva. 2 years and 3 years, respectively. Conor Gallagher also. Bettinelli, 3 years. But everybody else on the higher wages, right? Man, this is crazy. This is actually clapped. Because these wages, right, are usually spread out on a shorter. So the contract values are ridiculously expensive. So the payoffs have got to be absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. Contract severances. But this is madness. Enzo Fernandez, 15 million, like he's on a 9-year contract worth £139 million. What? What the fuck? And yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Your club's in the mud. FFP, they're rubbing their hands, they're licking their lips. Reece James, somebody who's always injured. Deal expiration 2028. £78 million is going towards his contract. That's £13 million a year. That's mental, and he's injured for most of it. Wesley Fofana, £72 million worth of contract fees. Raheem Sterling, deal expiration 2027. About £17 million per year. That is madness. So yeah, Chelsea desperately trying to figure out who they're going to sell to balance the books because, with the story about FFPs coming to town, they're in trouble. They are in trouble. And this whole finding loopholes to secure the future of Chelsea, ultimately, you might have just buried its future. If you want to go with some crazy master plan, look, if you want some crazy master plan, actually leave it to people who know what they're doing first before you do it. Maybe that's one of the reasons why a lot of these clubs might have thought about these loopholes, but thought, let's not do it because it might screw business further down the line. But if you bet too much on this working, if you bank too much on this working, and it goes to pot short term and does not work long term, sorry, your short term, you've got to hit the panic buttons nice and early. And then you've got to try and find a way. How do we salvage the future? How do you salvage the future? We've been run slowly but surely into this mess ourselves, where we're practically on the verge of breaching financial fair play caps, but that's been accumulated over time with failed transfer dealings, lucrative contracts, overpaying for players, all of that sort of business. It's just in general being terribly run. Chelsea is these bright ideas of somebody that's come in who said, let's splash the cash, let's plot the promised investment, about a billion investment into the team. And now what's happened? You spent that much money and the team is still sat mid-table. So if that's your money that you've watched a team go from borderline, well, from European champions essentially, winding down to mid-table mediocrity after spending that amount of money. Listen, I ain't going to say, well, look, that much money you spend, you should be successful, right? Surely. I'll be first to say that doesn't usually correlate. You spend that much money, it doesn't guarantee you success in football. It's just on the basis if you spend that much money, how are you spending it? How well are you spending it? Who are you buying? And what are you paying them? How are you managing the people that you're replacing these guys with? Like, it's all of these different variables that this new ownership's come into Chelsea and has just gone, right, we want to spend this much. We can't spend as much as we want, but we can find loopholes in FFP. It's a risk, but we're willing to bet on it, all in the name of chasing success. Well, what you've done here is you've essentially busted it. You thought, well, let's arrive on the scene, big splash of cash, happy days, brilliant, fantastic, wonderful, amazing. Well, Chelsea, watch out for Chelsea. They'll be up there. I was one of the first people to look at what Chelsea were doing and think, nah, that ain't right. And that's not right because it's not fair. It's not fair. I'm not looking at it not being fair. I'm looking at it saying that project's going to go so horribly wrong. Well, fast forward about a year and a half later, it's gone horribly wrong. It has gone horribly wrong. And you ask the question, how does it get better? How does it get better? Big ups Hot Fuzz, big ups to Stephanie Griffith. We drink to the Stephanie. Up to 6 likes. Big ups to everybody liking the stream. Let's keep them likes coming. It's ridiculous. It is. The Chelsea project is something to behold, and it's got to be some mad experiment. It's a mad social experiment to see just what the breaking point for fans are. But just essentially see just how quick it can be to screwing a club. an elite level club. And Chelsea, right, before Todd Bowley, were an elite level club. They, winning European trophies, having won Premier League titles as well. That it's an elite level club, and it's gone to pot. Chelsea moved Broja to Fulham yesterday. Not sure if sold or loaned. I think it was a loan deal. It's a loan deal, and apparently, from what I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not, so don't take my word for it. But Broja, I think, was about, what was it, like 900 or 800,000 on the loan fee, but he has to play X amount of games, a certain amount of games for Fulham. If he doesn't, then Fulham have to pay a £4 million loan penalty fee. So I don't know. I don't know what the hell kind of a loan deal that is. It's just crazy. Mental. Chelsea in trouble. They absolutely are. I don't know how the financial stability works. Does it mean revenue has to exceed expenditures? I would say, what you are allowed to spend, right, has to have a difference between your income, so your income cap. If you want to have more availability to spend, you have to increase your income cap, right? So what ways can you do that? Sell more merchandise, bigger sponsorships, bigger stadium capacities, all these different variables. So you increase that, that lifts the maximum spend. FFP also monitor your expenditures. So if you're already spending a lot, or if you spend very little, right? If your expenditures are quite low, that is your gap. That's how much you've got to spend. That's how much you can play around with. That's a lot. It's a huge amount. But if you're like Manchester United and you're very, very close, your wiggle room isn't actually that high. If you sell a lot, you can spend a lot. But you want to lower the contract value, so you go from this, spend that money well, you get it back up to here. But there's that much more of a gap. So FFP go, all right, well done United, have a nice day, and they turn their backs. And we're no longer, they no longer look at us. So that to me that's at least how I think it works to me. So yeah, clubs like Brighton, for example, they're not necessarily built to spend huge amounts of money or have the allowance to spend ridiculous amounts of money, even though they can spend a lot more than what they do. They can spend a lot more than what they do. They can't spend the same amount of money. They just don't have the allowance of income that, say, a Manchester City do, or a Liverpool do, or Arsenal. They can't spend the same amount of money. If Arsenal maxed out their budgets, Brighton can't do the same because their income's significantly less than what Arsenal's is. So you have to up those values. Chelsea without Roman aren't relevant anymore, it seems. I think that's kind of the sad thing. Is Chelsea will stay relevant, but they will stay relevant for the wrong reasons. Where I think they'll just be mocked a lot. I think they'll just be they'll be made to be the laughing stock. And the thing is that would be tragic. That would be tragic if they are made I mean, United have been made the laughing stock for the past 10 years. And the problem is for rival fans now, is that if we are sorting our shit out, if we are really sorting ourselves out, that might be the end of it. There might not be any more opportunities to point and laugh at Manchester United. We might be getting serious again. And if that happens and we really do start to become a proper serious club, You think about the commercial appeal that we have. The commercial appeal that we have right now is only going to improve. It's already very, very big right now. And if you improve it even more, that's even more. That's even more income. Even more income means even more spend. But you've got the right people in charge to spend it really well. So you spend it really well, you indulge in also having excellency at your club as the barest minimum for a standard. What you spend well. They come in, they perform well. You perform well, you start winning trophies. Your trophy haul starts to increase. You get noticed. Fans want to support your club. New fans. Your supporter demographic starts to sway with Manchester United's fan bases continuing to grow and expand. So people go, all the kids, all the whiz kids want to go, oh, that blue Manchester club they were successful, but now the red club's successful. I want to support the red club because that red club's winning. So you follow the red club. Manchester United, they get an extra supporter. So, little things like that. Big ups to Abs at Football Bounce channel. Big ups to Hot Fuzz. Big ups to you, man. And big ups to the chat as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hope you're doing well, Abs, man. Which of the top 6 are in the top of the limit? Well, I know Man United are. I mean, Chelsea, they're not really top 6, but they're supposedly quite close to their limit, if not pretty much on the limit. I don't know about Arsenal. I wouldn't have assumed that they're actually very close to their FFP cap. But yeah, I don't know just how close they are. I think Manchester City are just, I mean, they probably completely breached their FFP caps for about 5 years ago. But their income now has just gone up so high now. So, well, I mean, they're probably not in any troubles right now, but they're not causing trouble right now. But they're being investigated for everything that they've done to get there. So they're legit now, but they're getting investigated for what's going on before. Liverpool, I think FFP cap they're fine for. I think FFP Liverpool completely fine with FFP. They've got the ability to go out and spend like big, proper big, because they get credited for shrewd business. Fuzzy Europa next season, probably Conference League. I want to see us get Europa League. I mean, West Ham are currently in a Europa League spot. They're the next team above us. We beat them. I think that's us ahead of them. At least that's what I think. Let me get confirmation. So yeah, they are currently ahead on 36 points. We beat them. We go ahead. We go up to 38 points. 38 points is 5 off of Aston Villa. We then play Aston Villa. We can beat them. That's then 2 points off of Aston Villa in 5th place. Tottenham are also on 43 points. So if Tottenham drop any points, we could very quickly, very, very quickly turn things around and put ourselves back into conversations for Champions League. But we need to fix things up on the consistency side, like I've spoken about with the whole West Ham preview. The big focus now is trying to build some consistency. So if we can build consistency, I think it should be doable. But let's see consistency first before we start calling those shots. At the top of yeah, top of the limit to me. Yeah, I think Manchester United are probably the worst off in terms of availability to spend. But yeah, Chelsea, I think they're just being investigated, or they've been flagged for something. We'll have to see what that becomes. 7 likes, big ups to everybody. I'm going to wrap up the show now. So big ups to everybody. If you haven't done so already, please do like the stream and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Would be most appreciated. Of course, if you're also watching on playback, please do drop your comments, your thoughts and feelings about the West Ham game coming up on Sunday, your predicted starting 11s, and your score predictions and all of that jazz. No one's really actually done it thus far, but I just say it anyway, just to encourage people to do it. If they do, then they do. So thanks for not mentioning Spurs. Daniel Levy, 2 words, Daniel Levy. He holds the secret, you know, that little bloody Voldemort looking MFer. They call him a shrewd businessman. Shrewd businessman, that Daniel Levy. I really rate Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy will take Tottenham to the very top. Daniel Levy is the single biggest reason why Tottenham never got to the top and still haven't. The reason why is Tottenham fans nowadays, they don't talk the talk of champions, they don't talk the talk of trophies. They want to see good football. They want to have fun. They want to go to watch their beloved Tottenham and have a good time. But make sure that you are wearing, you're absolutely minted, right, with your outfits. Because you can't go into that stadium just wearing some shirt and jeans. No, you've absolutely got to make sure that you are dressed with drip from head to toe. Because that's what being a proper Spurs fan is. God only knows. Like, God help that club. As well as actually, like, genuinely helping Manchester United. That would be fantastic. Thank you, please. Thank you very much, God. Not in top 6. Well, not in big 6, you could say. Kidding. Thank you. Take care. So thank yous to you for tuning in, Arsenal Manic. It's been a pleasure to have you in chat, along with everybody else as well. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I have had a bit of fun with this one and appreciate everybody that's tuned in. And yeah, probably we'll do something tomorrow. Do something a little catch up. Try and get Wolfgang Division on and get his verdict on the Chelsea situation. Maybe have some Arsenal presences there. As well as a few others and all of that good stuff. And perhaps we get also Early Doors, because I was wanting Early Doors to be the guest for this preview, but he's been very busy with external commitments to the game. External commitments, obviously, family time, friends time, honestly, seriously important. Please do not sacrifice things like that for the sake of doing YouTube. So, well, big ups to Tony, of course, but maybe we can get him on for something tomorrow. And then we can continue our discussion about this West Ham game. So keep them notification bells switched on so you can know when we do something like that. But yeah, anyways, that's it from me for tonight. I'm bouncing. Hopefully everybody else continues their bouncing on Friday nights. We drink to Friday nights and hopefully a smashing weekend. So let's all look forward to it. Let's all have fun. Take care, goodbye, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Ciao for now.